But you mentioned trying to be an attorney. How does an aspiring attorney end up being a basketball coach?
I'll give some credit for that to my twin sister. She majored in, she graduated from, I had two sisters graduate from the University of North Carolina. And she was a pharmacy student. She got her degree in pharmacy. I think she majored in something called inorganic chemistry. She was always the smart one.
Yeah.
But she had to go to get into the school that she was applying for after her undergrad. She had to take the GRE. But if you're a minority student, you get to take those tests for free. So I was in Pembroke, North Carolina, which is about 2 hours away from Chapel Hill. And she said, why don't you come up here this weekend? I was playing baseball, and we had a rain out. So why don't you come here and take that test with me? Because you may need it. That's family looking out for family. So I went up there and took it. Next thing you know, I don't have no idea what I scored, but I started getting letters from all these schools. But that was the start of affirmative action. And all of a sudden, these schools are trying to get color, for lack of a better term, on their campus and with their faculty. And this was 1972, 1973. So things were changing. And so I went from wanting to go to law school to wind up on academic scholarship at Michigan State University. So I went to East Lansing for 2 years and got my master's degree and got married. And next thing you know, I'm in Montana. I didn't even know where Montana was.
I still don't know where it's at. I'm a Southern boy.
Yeah. But my wife is way smarter than I am. She got an atlas down. We didn't have phones or Googles. You know, we had Atlas and we had encyclopedias. That's all we had. So she got an atlas down and she looked at the United States map and she saw where Butte, Montana was, and it had a black star. And I said, what does that mean? She says it has a U-Haul drop. So we can rent a U-Haul, put everything in it, and drop it off in Butte. I said, that's why I married somebody smarter than me.
Yeah, yes, sir. You got to Montana State when you were around my age.
Montana Tech.
Montana Tech.
Yeah.
Sorry, Montana Tech.
No worries.
When you were around my age. And I've heard you say at the time, when you got in, you felt like so many other people knew more than you. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to speak for you, but a lot of times that term is known as imposter syndrome. How do you overcome that?
Just being driven, wanting to succeed. Montana Tech, I mean, if it had been a good job, they would have never hired me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wasn't qualified. I was 1 year removed from being an assistant coach for the JV team at Michigan State and being a grad assistant. So I never had a head coaching job. But I went out there as an assistant, and the head coach left and his family in, I think, December. And then the athletic director asked me would I like to coach a team for the rest of the season. Didn't have another job, so I said yes. I think we were making $11,000 a year. But we were living rent-free in an apartment because we would clean all the apartments when people would move out. So that first year I got a real education because there were some really, really good coaches. I was only 25, and most of them were their late 40s, early 50s. You know, they were well established in their careers. And I could see the difference in their teams and our teams. And our teams didn't look like their teams. And I knew it got so bad one night, I apologized to the team for not being a better coach. But I said, I'm gonna get better. And so the next year we won the league championship. Mm-hmm. But I also learned the importance of recruiting. We won the league championship. Sure, I was a better coach, but it's because we had better players. I figured that one out quick.
Yeah, when you're a coach, and I know you do a lot of self-evaluation, how do you continue to make sure that you're calling out when you're not good enough, but also not killing your confidence when you're first getting into it?
Well, everybody has a comfort zone, but you don't get better in your comfort zone. You have to get out of your comfort zone. That's where progress is. And over the years, you learn the difference in perfection. Basketball is an imperfect game, but we're always striving for perfection. But instead of that, you realize it's not that either. It's progress. How do you make progress? I don't define our team, especially early in the season, on wins and losses. I look at what kind of wisdom are we gaining? What kind of lessons are we learning through this experience? Like we had a game last night, and of the 3 games we played, first game we played was the ball, whatever it was. I mean, first game, got nothing to compare it to. But we're a little bit better the second game, not much, but some. Now last night, I thought we took a step up and played much better. So that intrinsically, it tells the players that they're moving in the right direction. And then for the coaches, it's now challenging them to continue to get better in the areas we need to get better at. So I think most coaches that are successful understand the journey of a season, where it starts and where it ends, whereas most fans and media focus on destinations. It's all about the journey. It's the fight. It's the getting knocked down and getting up. This player, all of a sudden, through his work and determination and will, going from being this player where he was September and October to this player in January and February, now he's impacting winning at a high level. And this player maybe got injured and lost his confidence, but you're always fighting the Bears and the Wolves and the Tigers and the Bobcats as a coach when nobody's around. And then to come game, everybody's scrutinizing you and watching the game and reporting on it. But it's those journeys and battles, the battles you lose, the battles you win, that makes coaching at this level, that's what makes it fun for me.
You have a quote that goes, "Work like an assistant coach, but think like a head coach." How can that be applied both on and also off the basketball court?
Well, I think I've had 10 or 11 assistant coaches over the years that went on to become Division I head coaches. And so it's not just developing your players, but it's also developing those coaches, because I want them all to leave here. When I was a young assistant coach, wasn't my desire to be the assistant coach at Montana Tech for the rest of my career. I wanted to learn and move up and conquer new horizons and climb another mountain and climb another mountain, just see what was on the other side. You're driven. And so when I look at my assistant coaches, I try to do for them what I would have wanted someone to do for me. Help me reach my goal. I'm here working hard for you. And these assistant coaches don't work for the school. They work for the head coach. It's like kids today don't choose schools. They choose coaching staffs. So we've had 2 assistant coaches become Division I head coaches since we've been here. Alvin Brooks at Lamar and Quantas White at the University of Louisiana in Lafayette. But as an assistant coach, you don't have hours. You just have time. And time can be your ally or it can be your opponent, depending on how driven you are. But I think the head coach is the only person that can establish the culture in a program. Can't be established by the strength coach. Can't be established by the assistant coaches. If there's one thing that I would hope that I've taught my assistant coaches is you have to establish the culture. So work like an assistant coach. But I want you to think like a head coach. What would I do? When I get this opportunity, how would I handle this? And that's where a head coach thinks.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah.